Right, I want to talk about Ireland ahead of the second test. Obviously, we've got the South Africa team. We've got the 80 minutes in the bank from Pretoria to kind of mull over. But where are Ireland at and what are their chances this weekend? That's what this video is about. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think. And welcome to, well, this place is awesome. So this is Westbrook, which is between Umhlanga, where I'm staying, just north of Durban. And just up there, a bit further up the coast, is Bailito, where apparently a load of the Springbok players who play for the Sharks live. A nice part of town, apparently, so I've been told. So I'm going to head up there in a bit. I just thought I'd stop briefly. The only person on this whole stretch of beach, there's a couple of fishermen down behind me back there, but man, this is just amazing. It's 25 degrees. I've put sunscreen on. I'm the only person here. And yes, as you'll see in a second, I am wearing shorts. You've been warned. Right, let me put this down. Bear with me. As I say, it is just me on this channel. I have no one doing any filming for me. That's why it means so much that you support the channel, give the video a thumbs up and all that. Let's see if I can sit down gracefully. There we go. Right, let's talk Ireland. Right, first thing I want to ask, if you're an Irish fan, how do you feel about this series, this two-match series? Because I get the sense from some people, and I'm only going to say some, and I think it might just be a noisy minority, they're a little bit ambivalent or even negative towards this series, talking about what a long season it's been, the players are going to be tired, what's the point? And I don't know if that's just a kind of defensive mechanism because they're anticipating that maybe Ireland would lose. They're a bit concerned without players like Keenan and Gibson Park, and now of course Dan Sheehan and Craig Casey added to the injury list with some others that have had knocks, so waiting to see what the team will be. Some concerns there for sure. But I've got nothing but enthusiasm for this. Yes, I'm in South Africa coming to watch this game, but and I'm English, and I'm a very proud Englishman. I love this rivalry that is building between these two teams. I think the URC has taken it up a level, and that's been great. The fact these players play against each other at provincial club level every season now, I think is great. The World Cup, that pool match in Paris, was one of the great rugby games I've ever seen. In terms of intensity, spectacle, atmosphere, everything, it was incredible. Part of the reason why I'm here right now. And I love the rivalry because the rivalry is built fundamentally on the fact that these are two fantastic rugby teams, 1 and 2 in the world still as it stands. And there's a massive amount of respect between players, coaches, fans. And I just don't understand why this wouldn't excite you. I think it is exciting people for the most part. Certainly, I can tell you one person who is exciting, and that's Andrew Porter's dad, because when I was up at Llywelyn in the north part of KwaZulu-Natal, I was staying in the same hotel as Andrew Porter's dad and a bunch of his mates. I forget the rugby club they were from. Anyway, they're basically lads on tour, and I think they're going cage diving or deep sea diving or something today. They've moved down the coast themselves. It is amazing here, I've got to say. It's fantastic. Anyway, they're all excited. The Irish fans that I've spoken to, they're loving it. And I still think Ireland have got a good chance in this second test. I absolutely do. When you reflect on the first test, I'd say Ireland were below par, did not play very well, and yet were in the game and showed in glimpses that they can shred any opposition. The tries they got in the second half, I mean, South Africa might reflect on the fact they might say our defence needs to be better, but there's two sides of that coin, and the other side of the coin is Ireland, when they do drop the hammer, are deadly. But they didn't do enough of that on the Saturday last week. There's no getting around it. Dan Sheehan, Craig Casey, a massive blow. It's probably going to be maybe a full 80 minutes, 60, 70 minutes of Conor Murray, which is not going to... I can understand why that would worry you a little bit. He's been an amazing player, but he's not the future of this Ireland team, is he? And there's a few positions where the drop-off from first choice to second choice is massive, and we're now going, in the case of scrum half, from first choice Jameson Gibson Park to Conor Murray, and, well, it'll be Blade, won't it? Nathan Doak has flown over, but he'll just be providing cover, you'd imagine. So that is massive. But Ireland didn't play well, and they were in the game. So that should give them confidence. Their attack isn't fluid, wasn't. I don't know, just felt a bit bitty And defence was probably the thing that they can, and defence is something you can fix really quickly, and defence wasn't good. Scramble defence, like goal line defence, when South Africa made the break and they just had to defend their line, Ireland were fantastic and they had all the attitude in the world then, but just fundamental structures weren't quite there. And I think a big part of that is they were surprised, probably I was surprised, by how South Africa played. They went off the top from every line out. They hardly kicked. And bearing in mind Ireland selected Jamie Osborne, I would have thought that probably in Ireland's thinking is they're gonna really go for Jamie Osborne. First game at international level at fullback. Only played a handful of games at fullback ever at senior level. So let's get at him. They did not do that. They really stretched Ireland. And I suppose the thing with South Africa is they've got such a direct threat. When you've got Damian Dialende in the midfield, when you've got the back row with the players they've got and the big units they've got in their front five, you have to be prepared for them smashing it up and winning that gain line. But South Africa did not do that. And it felt like Ireland just seemed a little bit narrow as a result. And South Africa, well, could have had more joy getting through and around them. And that will be one to watch. So it'll be interesting to see how Ireland prepare. But I think they can improve their defence significantly in the space of 7 days, and I expect them to. Also, another reason to just to feel excited about this, it might be another 8 years till this happens again, if ever. Let's not forget, one of the reasons I came to this tour is because World Rugby's plans for an annual tournament between the Six Nations and then the next Six Nations, Southern Hemisphere and Japan and all the rest of it, this competition they want to try and devise could mean that we do not see summer tours. I think it's a massive shame that this is not a 3-test series. Would have loved that. But it's a 2-test series and this might be the last one. So let's got to make the most of this. For what it's worth, I hope these tours do continue because I think it's brilliant. And actually, I'd rather than a game against, I mean, I know it's tough, isn't it? I'm saying South Africa have got Portugal next. And they had Wales. I'd have dropped one of those games and made it a 3-test series against Ireland. Yeah. What else would I say? Oh yeah, in terms of positives from the game last weekend from an Irish point of view, Craig Casey was really good, obviously now injured. But moving forward beyond this tour, Ireland can have a lot more confidence in Craig Casey as a backup who generally just gets given that Italy game in the Six Nations and 10 minutes at the end of matches. They can have a lot more confidence in him. Weathered an early storm and then finished strongly until he got injured, that is. Caelan Doris, absolutely superhuman effort. Jesse Creel got the man of the match. He was the best South African player. I thought Caelan Doris was the best player on the pitch. But obviously they don't give man of the match to losing players, but he was the best player. Negatives, Joe McCarthy. Not a negative as such, but just where's that performance that he put in the Six Nations in Marseille? Where's some of those absolutely dominating performances? Like, I know he's still a young man, but come on. Come on, Joe, just turn your beast mode on. Let's have it. Tyg Byrne alongside him is just relentless as he always is. And no, negatives, yeah. Replacement props. I cannot wait to see the selection that Andy Farrell comes up with. I would change 17 and 18. Again, much like Conor Murray, Cian Healy, what an incredible man, human and servant and brilliant rugby player he's been for Ireland over the years. He's not the future. I don't think he's the now anymore. Andrew Porter went off, then came back on, then went off again. You kind of felt, had he been fit and had no blood injury issues or anything, Andrew Porter probably would have played almost the whole game. So yeah, Ollie Jaeger, Tom O'Toole, maybe. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Yeah, I think just go for it. They've kind of got nothing to lose. All of the excuses are already written. Ireland are missing Jamison Gibson-Park and Craig Casey. They're missing Dan Sheehan, and they're missing Hugo Keenan. They're missing 3 in the 9, 15 and 2. They're missing 3 likely starting British and Irish Lions in the team next year. They're away in South Africa. They've had a long season, yeah, sure. But just have a go. Just roll the dice. And if they can get their defensive structure sorted, and then just get a little bit more cohesiveness in attack, as Ireland have done so many times down the years, I think they can win this game. I think they can win it. A couple of other things I'll just talk about in terms of the whole match. The criticism of the 6-2 split for South Africa and all 6 forwards coming on at once. I mean, Ireland did get absolutely humped shortly after that, which led to the Cheslin-Colby try, didn't it? I think that's not about the 6 players going on at once for South Africa. That's about the lack of depth that Ireland have. And that's a challenge for a lot of teams. England are in exactly the same position. The replacement props are not good enough, and that's a challenge that England have got to solve, just as Ireland have. It's not a reason why we need to get South Africa to stop bringing on 6 forwards all at the same time, because they can. And if it's in the laws of the game, why not? It's a risk. If 1 or 2 of those players goes down injured, you're down to 7 or 6 forwards. So it's always a trade-off. Secondly, it's interesting the talk about the DJ in Pretoria. Got a bit of criticism from some quarters I saw. What do you think about that? I'm here for it. It would not. That DJ in Pretoria, who I've featured on the channel, I chatted to him on my videos. Go and check the other videos from the match day. It would not work in Twickenham. It would not work in the Aviva Stadium. But I'm telling you, I was there. It totally works in Pretoria. It just works. And I like the fact that different places have different identities and they do their own thing. And a bit of 90s R&B and Belinda Carlisle, why not? Some people have criticised the getting all the fans to get their lights out and playing loud music when Craig Casey was down on the floor injured. I would kind of stick up for the people organising the stadium experience too. Things were quiet for quite a long time while Craig Casey was down. Then when the medical team were around him, they started the music and got the crowd going again, which I actually think is okay. And what you might not have heard on the television, but which happened on the day, is that the stadium announcer went overboard as Craig Casey was going off the field, saying, everyone, he's had a fantastic game, show respect, let's all get on our feet and wish him well to Craig Casey. So there was the yin and the yang. That's all I'll say on that one. But on the DJ, I love it. Don't want it at Twickenham because it wouldn't work. And while we're talking about the DJ, there's been some reactions to South Africa's appropriation of Zombie by the Cranberries. What do you think about that? Again, I like it. It's a bit of fun. Some people have pointed out the context of the song is about some unsavoury incidents in Ireland's history. Yeah, I get that, but that didn't stop Munster fans singing it as a bit of a party anthem when they. In fact, I was there. Munster against Toulouse in the Champions Cup the other season, half time. First time I was really aware of that song being a thing with Munster, and it was incredible to listen to, and the crowd were absolutely loving it. I think fundamentally that song is a banger, whatever the content of the song is actually about. And let's not be so precious. It's just a bit of fun, and I think the fact that they're changing the words to Rassie is, I mean, yeah, what they're saying is Rassie's in your head, but actually I think you could flip it round and say the fact they've appropriated a song that was a massive anthem for Ireland in Paris when they beat South Africa speaks to the fact that these South African fans, players, coaches, everything, massively respect Ireland and were hurt by the defeat because it provoked a reaction. And that should be a positive for Ireland as far as I'm concerned. So I'm here for it all. I'm going to try and turn this off in as graceful a manner as I can. Thank you very much for watching the channel. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, tell me what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one.